Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Okay, if you were watching my last vlog, you realize that I made kind of a big decision in that episode. I had originally tried to peel some of the paint off of this door so that we could hopefully repaint it and get that gunk out of the cracks that was there, but I really wasn't able to do a good job. I spent a whole bunch of time on it and basically have this to show for my work. And so I kind of made a decision at that point that cleaning this isn't really an option. My only real option is to replace them. I've been kind of reluctant to do that because I didn't really want to spend a lot of money, but the truth is I don't owe anybody anything right now, so I think what I could do is afford to finance this and pay it maybe over the next 24 months or something like that, whatever it costs. And let's get this fixed and get it fixed right. That also gives me the added benefit because I can raise the counters up a little bit, raise the cabinets up a little bit, and remove these bulkheads that are above the whole house, which, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of that. It makes all the cabinets be really, really low to the ground, and it's just a little too low for me anyway. So I'm going to run over to Home Depot today and let's see what we can see. Now, ultimately, Home Depot is going to have to come over and take measurements to give me an exact quote on this, but I've snapped some photos just to kind of give them an idea of what they're getting themselves into. A couple of the cabinets have actual drawers in them, which come out, and so I kind of demonstrated that too. But we're going to run over there now and let's see what they have to say. Now, one of the options they have with these cabinets is you can get like prefab cabinets like this. These are unfinished at this point, but you can buy them prefab like this and then just have them installed. Otherwise, you have to have them custom made, and that sometimes costs a little bit more money. But that kind of gives you an idea what we're looking at price-wise for some of this stuff here. That's clearly a bathroom one. A lot of this stuff looks like it's bathroom stuff, but... And then they got ones here also that are kind of finished white, which is kind of what I'd want to have. Now these are a little on the plain side. Kind of a little bit boring. I actually like the pattern they have over here on these. And you can see they got a whole bunch of them up on the shelves too. See, I think this is a lot like what I have. It's just this isn't finished white. This is just bare wood. But I think what I'm going to do, I took some photos of the house so they can see what they're getting into, and maybe they can at least give me an idea how we deal with this and where we move forward at this. I think generally what's going to have to happen is they're going to have to come out and measure exactly what I have and go from there. But this at least kind of gives me an idea where we're starting. Alright, so I've been out and about now for a few hours trying to track down somebody that can do cabinets for me, and just turned out to be a giant nothing burger. I started off at my normal Home Depot, and while they sell cabinets and that kind of stuff there, they don't really have anyone on staff that's an expert at that, is a design expert. And that's what I kind of need, is somebody that's going to help me design this and figure out what's going to go on, and what I need, and what needs to happen next, and make sure I get the right thing that all works together. That doesn't really terribly surprise me that much, because that's something I discovered about Home Depots back in California too. Different stores seem to specialize in different parts of home improvement type stuff, and I guess that makes sense. You really can't have, when you have limited space in a Home Depot, you really can't have specializing in everything. So I noticed there were like 3 Home Depots within 10 miles of my house in California, and one of them specialized in flooring and kitchen stuffs, and one of them had a really impressive gardening section, and one of them had a really impressive lumber yard and stuff like that. And so I kind of hit the one that I needed based on the specialty of what I needed. And so it didn't really surprise me that my local Home Depot, the one I usually go to, didn't have a design expert on staff. But they recommended another Home Depot in Belmead, which is about 8 miles away, that they said that they have a design specialist on staff. So I drove over there and finally connected up with somebody, and turns out their design specialist quit yesterday. So they couldn't really help me. They gave me a telephone number, somebody that could, help me get going on it. But, that just sounds like maybe another dead end there. They also suggested I might try Lowe's. Now, I've been kind of boycotting Lowe's for a while because they kind of screwed me over a couple of times when I first moved into the house. You may recall that I originally bought a washer and dryer and a barbecue, and they kind of screwed me over in terms of delivery. They couldn't deliver it in any kind of reasonable time. I think they were predicting 8 to 10 days or something like that to deliver it, which is stupid because, I was like, just a few miles away. It's like, how hard can that be? Okay, fine, we're in the beginning of COVID and all that a year ago, but still, it shouldn't take that long to do that. And then a couple weeks later, I tried to buy a lawnmower from them, which also needed to be delivered. And the date that it was supposed to be delivered came and went, and never came. And a couple days after it was due to be delivered, I went over there to say, hey, what's going on? And turns out they'd lost my order. So I kind of started boycotting them from that point on. But based on the recommendation, I said, okay, well, let's give them one more shot. Well, I got over there, and their salesperson or their design expert wasn't in the office today. Now I got a telephone number for her, and I think in the end we're gonna maybe try calling her. But as I was going on the way home, I started thinking, you know what, there's this place in Waco they call Furniture Row. You may recall that I visited there a year and a half ago to see a little sideshow attraction, or a little roadside attraction there called the Tin Incinerator, where somebody took an old wood incinerator and decorated it to look like a tin soldier. Well, that's in an area called Furniture Row, and that incinerator used to be used to incinerate all the wood scrap that they generated in these furniture stores. So I figured, well, let's take a trip over there, maybe they got something. And I got over there and found a place that was like a discount cabinet maker, and that kind of concerned me a little bit right off the bat because, when you think discount, you don't really necessarily think of quality. And I went in there and looked at some of the stuff they had, and my concerns were a little bit justified at that point. Some of the stuff they had on shelf, in stock there on the shelves, the doors didn't line up right, or they bound together, or you'd have two doors that would close next to each other, and there'd be like a 1/4-inch gap between the top of one and the top of the next one. And but they also had some stuff in stock that showed kind of the finished product, and I figured, okay, well, maybe we'll give them a shot here. And it turns out that they're just a wholesaler. They just sell the cabinets. They don't do the design work, and they don't do the installation. So that's no good to me either. So yeah, 4 strikes and I'm out. Like I said, I do have that telephone number for the girl at Lowe's, and I think I'm going to try and call her. She wasn't just sick today. I guess she was just out on a job. So maybe there's still some way to salvage this situation. But that's where I am right now. Alright, so I just got off the phone with the interior designer over at Lowe's. Sounds like she's going to try and work with me. What she requested that I do is give her kind of rough measurements of the cabinets that I need to replace. And that was a little bit complicated because, like I said, I want to remove the bulkheads on some of these cabinets. And in some cases, like this one here, I want to make it actually longer because I want to keep the microwave at the same level. So I need to make it a little bit taller. On other ones, like for instance this one over here, I want to keep it the same size and just shift it upwards. So I tried to estimate what the dimensions are going to be on all of these. This one here is another weird one because I do want to shift it up a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit longer, but it's not going to actually fill in the whole space of the bulkhead, because one of the problems I have with this cabinet is that it is perfectly flush with the top of the refrigerator, which means the cabinet doors don't even open really well without hitting the refrigerator. So actually what I want is about a 3-inch gap between the bottom of this cabinet and the top of the refrigerator, but I still want to push it up to the top on the bulkhead. So I just fired an email off to her with all of that detail, kind of explaining what I wanted. I also sent her some photographs so she kind of gets an idea of what it is she's looking at. and hopefully she'll be able to get back to me in the next day or so. She originally said that she had an appointment opportunity on Thursday, but on Thursday I'm back to work. So she's going to look at this over the next day or so and hopefully maybe get me kind of a rough estimate. And she said maybe she'd be able to get together with me on Wednesday afternoon. So I don't know, we're going to play this by ear. It's moving forward and we'll see what comes next. So the ball is now in her court, and I think that's all that I have for today. So thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Skipping the Mouse. Good night.